What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So today we're going to jump into two sneak peeks, and I'll give you my thoughts on both of them because I kind of missed it out on last night. I was a little tired from work and stuff, but let's jump right in here. You can see something that we've got coming up right here, but let's take this nice and slow. All right, so yesterday we got the sneak peek for Kitty Pryde. Yes, so Kitty Pryde is coming in hot with a sneak peek. So let's take a look at this real quick. So over here on the forums, basically like this is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Agents, the captain of the Marauders, has embarked on a new voyage to the island of Krakoa. Check out the new look and power of this superhero who has the ability to pass through matter. And it's a pretty cool trailer as well, if I have to say so. Just, it's funny because I played Black Desert Online, and it reminded me of the new character in Black Desert Online, the Corsair, which made me just think about Kitty Pryde and this whole scene right here. Like, if you haven't played Black Desert Online, go check it out. There's a class in the Corsair. Now, immediately, we're back to the bad trailer stuff that's going on, because what the hell is happening here? And like, realistically, obviously, I feel like, one, this is going to be a trash ass looking costume. I don't care how much detail is going into it or whatever. If this is the basic look of the costume, it's going to look really, really weird. Kitty Pryde's sporting a Star David over there, looks like, as well. She's got the X belt over here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's Kitty Pryde. I think there's a lot of fans of Kitty Pryde. I'm not a huge fan, man. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan. And so then we had the X-Men thing right here. So like you can see the Krakoan language pops up here. So if we were to go type in here, let's do this Krakoan alphabet. There we go. So we can look up the Krakoan alphabet directly online, and you can see what all of that correlates to. So you can see she's got this little symbol here, the 4 over there. So that would amount to which one of these symbols? So it's this one right here. You see it right here, the T inside there. So then you can start making out some of the other symbols. Like this is an I, this is an E. I believe this is an R. But basically, if you were to look at the last two symbols over here, you basically can tell that this is basically tier 3. So we are essentially going to get Kitty Pryde at tier 3 inside of here. Cool, good to go, right? Overall, nice trailer for her. If not that the uniform just kind of like it falters. It doesn't really look cool. Kitty Pryde, look, I think we'll all be purchasing the uniforms no matter what. It's an X-Men kind of uniform, as long as we'll see what happens. But there you go for Kitty Pryde. So she's coming in hot off the press as well. And then we had the little Twitter sphere as well for Kitty Pryde. So let's take a look at Kitty Pryde's Twitter sphere. Nothing really there to give us anything new about it, but basically you see Kitty Pryde is sailing the open seas in search of her next mission. She's going to get tier 3. That's pretty cool for her, right? But I don't know. It's just a little weird in my opinion. So that's the Red Queen. You basically get the information there. Kitty Pryde, right? Cool. All right, so even more important, I think, for a lot of people is going to be the update for who's here. So let's take a look at sneak peek number 5 over on the forum. And basically, we get sneak peek number 5. This is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight, the superhero who has dedicated his life for the peace and coexistence of the mutants, has established a new council to protect the mutants. Check out the new look and powers of this superhero who has powerful telepathic powers. We will announce more information through the patch details later. So this is our last update for the month of February. He's basically standing on the island watching Kitty Pryde come in, it basically looks like. And it's Charles Xavier, all right? So Professor Xavier inside his Krakoan uniform. If you haven't followed the Krakoan comics and to see what's been happening, then you might want to jump in. Now, even more important is that we get some more language over here. I think we already know what this language is, but just for the people in the back that that aren't aware, we'll take a look at the language again. You basically only have to really look at this last one right here, which you should know is an R at this point. So let me see, where is it at? QR, there we go, right here. So you can see that. So essentially tier 4, right? Not too difficult to figure that one out for the update. So we got Charles Xavier, who's going to get his tier 4 for the mid months. Kind of cool, right? I'm not too mad about those updates. Over on the Twitter sphere, we basically get the information here. Professor X has gained a new level of power with Cerebro in his possession. What does this mean for the future of the mutants? It just means a lot of good stuff, right? So I'm pretty amped about the Professor X, the Charles Xavier update inside here. It wasn't too long ago, in fact, to be truthful, that we got an update for Xavier, and it was I thought it was a really cool update for him, especially since he wasn't bound by the wheelchair anymore, which is really cool. So let's go over here and let's take a look at these characters real quick. Whoa, I just literally just upgraded this. Let's see, is it gonna be Charles? Would it be Charles? No, I should have known better than that. Yeah, Xavier should be what it is. So nope, doesn't want to come up for Xavier either. Oh, maybe it's just listed as Professor X. There we go. So we got Charles Xavier, Professor X, and then we got Kitty Pryde as well inside here. We don't need to say whole thing. Kitty should be enough. And we got Kitty Pryde, right? So here goes a good thing about Kitty Pryde's uniform. If you don't remember, she's got where was her leadership? I think it was on her leadership. Yeah, so Kitty had a increase all basic attacks for all mutants by 55 and a critical rate increase as well. Wasn't a whole lot else going on inside her kit. Let's hope that they get rid of the illusions as well. She had the self-guarantee to dodge. In terms of uniform, she hasn't had one yet at all. So this should be a really big boost for Kitty overall because, she's got a pretty decent leadership overall. So this should put her in some, it's going to be a tier 3 for her. So realistically, you should be looking at the character and be thinking am I going to be using her for this leadership ability, right? Unless I'm going to imagine there's going to be some type of boost for this leadership inside here. Maybe something changes with the passives, but either way, the leadership is what you're essentially looking at Kitty Pryde for at the moment, right? Maybe there's going to be something on her uniform as well, because when we go and we look at Professor X, Professor X's last uniform, to me, this uniform is just dope as hell. I love this uniform. He's only had one other version, and that was his classic uniform that he had over here. I have the modern uniform equipped because, like I said, this uniform was the bee's knees to me. Obviously, you can go with his wheelchair bound uniform and stuff like that. I purchased it, but it wasn't something that was I don't know, this is an old bygone days of X-Men. We've kind of accelerated past this, so it wasn't something that was essentially yeah, I had to have that uniform or level up that uniform. He's had his tier 3, and to be honest with you, he was one of my favorite played characters in terms of tier 3. Really nice skill rotation inside of there that you had. His leadership wasn't all that to write home about. Increase all basic attacks by 20 and then get some mine resist by 50. And then if you look, I think it was his passive over here, his first passive. No, yeah, that was it. So that was all that was there on his leadership. Let me take a look at his other uniform that he had here. Equip this bad boy, and let's take a look at his skills for that one. I don't think there was any change in this one either, to be honest. Yeah, 2050. It wasn't really anything inside there. But realistically, on his skills, however, I'm going to change the uniform back to the modern. I didn't really care for the other ones. Let's take a look at this really quickly, because I'll dig into the meat of these at some point, right? But Professor X just had this really crazy ability to just control characters inside there. So that ability, being able to rock through it and come in and just do massive damage, it was just cool as hell. Those skills just look absolutely fantastic, and you basically stun locked opponents into place with Professor X, and it's just it was a really great character kit overall. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to improve and expand upon this, especially with the powers that Professor X, Magneto, and the Council has. It is going to be really nice to see him inside there. The uniform, I think, overall looks pretty cool with the white and gold on it. So happy about it. The one thing I am a little bit disappointed in, right, is, and I know there's like some people who are going to be like, not so much, they don't really care about it, is the fact that like we still didn't get a Kang uniform. So like, I know some people, I made the comment over on Net Marvel, some people made the comments like, it's probably too soon, right? Like too soon, right? Like, but to be honest with you, for me, it's not too soon. And the reason why I say not too soon is because we get the feature of Kang. We know he's in a legendary battle. I expect that he's probably going to be introduced into the game as like a world boss legend or, you know, something like that. But the problem that I have is like, yes, we didn't get Kang proper inside of the Loki series. We got the one at the end, right? So, but we're never going to get a Kang proper. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point of Kang. You know, are we going to get a Nathaniel Richards? Are we going to get Kang the Conqueror? Are we going to get, you know, the one at the end of time? Are we going to get this version? You're never going to get a proper Kang. So like, in terms of like saying like this Kang is, it's almost like looking at like Doctor Doom, right? Are you fighting Doctor Doom or are you fighting a Doom bot, right? So by the extension of like, hey, Kang hasn't been around that long because he wasn't Kang the Conqueror inside Loki, or at least in this uniform, right? That doesn't really hold measure in water for me because he's still Kang, and we get different variations of Kang throughout time, because we get Rama Tut, we can get this, we get that. So you could play around with that type of language, and I don't understand why it's like the mid months have just been so everywhere in terms of like what we're getting. You know, we still haven't gotten anything for, you know, Wakanda Forever in terms of Shuri's Black Panther, you know, uniform. We still like, so when I look at the update, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, we're going into February. We all knew the movie release for Ant-Man Quantumania was Ant-Man and Wasp and Quantumania was coming, and then we roll into this and we don't get Kang in the mid-month, or we don't get, you know, updates like Janet Van Dyne. So it becomes like this, the updates become like disjointed. They don't follow, there's no theme to them in a sense. Like the theme seems broken in that month, and it's something they've been doing for a while, maybe to throw curveballs at us or something. It's just not my thing. It's essentially like I'd like that planning track to be like, yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is coming, I know Kang is dropping, because that's the moment when you want to market the character. That's the moment when you want to push the marketing for the new players that are coming in, because there's going to be people who are going to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they're going to get introduced to Kang, and you want them to come join your game because they're going to get to play as Kang. Like Ant-Man and Wasp have already been in the game. Cassie was pretty much a flunk of a character. So like, then your what you call it fails on the marketing front, and it fails on the you know, the delivery front, right? It misses the mark, right? It's the same way like when they release Wakanda Forever and you don't get the Shuri Black Panther uniform, and you're like, okay, you missed the mark on there. You missed the mark on the fact that the movie got released in February, and at the beginning of February, and everybody's now being able to log into their Disney Plus accounts, and you get Wakanda Forever on Disney Plus. People have it. People are going purchasing Disney Plus accounts to watch it, and it's on DVDs, and you don't get the marketing campaign behind it, right? Because you're missing out on that. It's stupid to miss out on a marketing campaign event where you could drive sales and you could drive people, or people are being driven towards the game for something, because the majority of people have already seen Ant-Man and Wasp in some form before this. So they come into the game and then they are like looking for Kang because they were excited about Kang, not Ant-Man and Wasp, because we've already had 3 uniforms. They could have already played that, but they got Kang, and then they come into the game. It's like, no Kang. There's no Kang, right? That's essentially what you're looking for. I was just watching Black Panther on Disney Plus, and now I want to play Marvel Future Fight, which you would hope that Disney was marketing and advertising for the game. They don't, right? But Marvel Strike Force gets more advertising than any of the other games, but that's how you would hope that the transition is happening there. And I feel like in some regard, I get it. You're trying to delay so that way people get something later on that they feel excited about, but you're tempering the marketing ability to generate the hype around the game, because Kang the Conqueror is here. Not 3 months from now when we get Guardians of the Galaxy, or not 5 months from now when it's dead space time and people have forgotten about Ant-Man and Wasp and Quantumania. Not when we get the next Loki movie and they're searching for Kang, right? Or the next Loki series and they're searching for another variation of Kang. You just miss the mark, and you miss the opportunity to jump on the hype train and deliver to the audience and get new players in. So I'm not really with the whole too soon, because Quantumania is released. You should be delivering on the marketing. That's the whole purpose of it, right? Like, get behind that hype train. It was one of the things I think that kept Marvel Future Fight going, was that when a new movie came out, we essentially got the uniforms and the characters from that movie in that month time period within the theme. That's all I'm saying. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely looking forward to Professor X. Unfortunately, I won't be able to tier 4 him right away because we still haven't gotten any update on, materials and the way to acquire tier 4 materials, but it'll come, I'm pretty sure. Until next time, peace.